everyone, today we are going to learn why it is so important to adopt dogs from a shelter or a rescue program instead of going out and buying from the breeders. So let's adopt, don't shop. According to the ASPCA, 3.3 million dogs across the United States enter shelters every year. Out of the 3.3 million, there are 670,000 dogs that get euthanized each year. So let's adopt, don't shop. About 1.6 million dogs are adopted each year. 620,000 dogs that enter the shelter as a stray get reunited with their owners. Around 20% of Americans adopt, and of the dogs entering the shelters, approximately 48% are adopted and 20 are euthanized. About 25% of the dogs that enter shelters are purebreds. So if that's what you're wanting, it's always good to go and see what they have. Dogs get lost and abandoned all the time. It doesn't matter what kind of dogs they are. So let's adopt, don't shop. So, as you can see here, 17 million people can be persuaded to adopt instead of going out and shopping, and we've got 1.5 million adopters definitely choosing breeders, and 5 million adopters definitely chose shelters and rescues, and only 4 million unadopted euthanized pets approximately. So we can always help these stray animals by going and taking a look. There's plenty of people out there doing rescue programs and everything. So let's adopt, don't shop. So adopting can be helpful in so many ways. They can be emotional support. I've seen a TV show on Animal Planet, and they take dogs out of the shelter and rescue them, and they turn them into service dogs, and they do all the proper training, and then once they prove that they are on their way to it, they get their little vest, and training and program vest, and they become strong service dogs for people in need with all disabilities. About 60% of all households own a pet, so that's quite a bit of people that own different kind of pets. The cost of spaying or neutering a pet is less than the cost of raising puppies or kittens for a year. So just imagine, if you get your dog or cat fixed, it will cost less in the long run. 9 out of 10 pet owners consider their fur babies part of the family. I consider my dogs part of the family, and I treated them and they were spoiled. So I moved when I had my son, and they didn't allow any dogs. So they were with my mom for a while, and she just couldn't take it because she was always going with her job and everything. And she knew some people that were wanting to add to their family. So, and they were long-haired Dachshunds, and so she already had one. So it broke my heart. I cried. But we gave them to her, and she sent me the story that her son is a high-functioning autism, and he had a hard time with communicating his emotions, hard time in school and everything. Well, when we gave Reese's to them, it was Reese's and Bella, but Reese's really bonded with him, and it's been a couple months now, and they had a parent-teacher conference, and his teachers are saying that he is doing 10 times so much better in school. He's a different kid. He loves writing stories about Reese's, his dog, and telling the teacher about her, and it has helped him tremendously by having Reese's there. And so it makes it a little bit easier knowing that I had to rehome him, because she went to a great people, and she was there to help and with somebody. So here are a couple myths and facts about sheltered animals. A myth is they ended up in the shelter because they were badly behaved animals. That's not necessarily true. And and they are inferior to animals bought from pet stores and breeders. Definitely not true, because some of the animals end up in a shelter are bought that way. Some facts: they ended up in a shelter because their owners acquired them without doing appropriate research, didn't have the funds, didn't realize how much time, and they just didn't have the time, or they didn't do the research properly. So, in this country, taxpayers spend $1 billion annually to pick up, house, euthanize homeless animals. If only 5% of the total were allowed to spay, or were able to get them spayed or neutered, we could open 250 public low-cost spay-neuter clinics across the country and sterilize more than $4 million worth of animals each year. And that was from RyanNewmanFoundation.org. So let's adopt, don't shop. And it's easy to adopt. All you do is think about it, do your research first of all, and once you decide that you're able to handle it and everything, consult the experts. Go to your local shelter or wherever you're planning on and talk to them. They know their animals better than anybody because they're around them daily. So talk to them, and factor in family when you're adopting. Make sure they're on board and involve them when going to the shelter and picking one out, because the dog has to get along with everybody. So you want to make sure everybody's there, but you don't want to overwhelm the animal. And don't have your heart set on the first one. Go for a walk with a couple of dogs. Go and make sure you see all of them, and make sure y'all's energy levels match. You don't want a high or rambunctious dog when you're not very active, or an older, less active dog when you are a runner or anything. So let's adopt, don't shop. Thank you so much.